So we're here at Basa Air Base in the Philippines to conduct a 2-week exchange with our Philippine Air Force partners. And this is the first time that we've deployed to Basa in particular, and the first time we brought F-16s for our Base P. Base P is a bilateral air contingent exchange Philippines, and it's Indo-PACOM's opportunities for the air component to interact with our Philippine Air Force partners and increase the interoperability and training effectiveness between our two countries. It's an engagement that we've been conducting over the last 2 weeks to increase interoperability and training opportunities with our PAF partners. It's consisted over the years of several different weapon systems, from our A-10s to our F-18s with our joint partners in the Navy, and now it's come full circle back to the Air Force with the first deployment of fighters in support of Base P, specifically here at Basa. Having the F-16 fighters here allows us to interact with our Philippine Air Force partners with their F-50s, and that will in turn help us with our interoperability and training with a key partner. Basa just opened up, so they just resumed fighter operations here after 10 years. So our biggest challenge has been helping them to establish those standard operating procedures to be able to support day-to-day fighter operations. In addition to flying, we've also got several subject matter expert exchanges across all functional areas in operations and maintenance, which again allows us to exchange not only our techniques and procedures, but also learn from them.
It's been terrific. So as part of this bilateral engagement, we've really focused on the sharing of best practices. So whether it's our air-to-air and air-to-ground training with them as pilots, or also reaching out to their ground forces, their forward air controllers, to that cross-sharing of information across survival specialists or just maintainers. That level of engagement is something we don't commonly get in the international bilateral format, so it's really been wonderful. So our exchange with the Philippine Air Force has been terrific. As you may know, they recently inducted a new aircraft into their inventory, the FA-50. So seeing how they've gone through that induction process, integrating such a complex piece of equipment, allows us to look across the table and understand, as we bring in new pieces of equipment ourselves, how we can accomplish that perhaps in a better format. Additionally, as we look at their operations and their security situation across the entire area, it gives us a new lens to perhaps view how we operate in other areas of the world. Everyone wants to fly something new, so when you look across at an airplane that still has that quote-unquote new car smell, you have to love it. So it's been terrific flying with them, and their pilots are great aviators. The significance of the F-16 at Base P, at Basa, with the FA-50 cannot be overstated. Everyone's aware that the Philippine Air Force is actively looking to down select for a new fighter to bring into their Air Force. And we understand that the F-16 is likely on that short list. So to be able to introduce them to not only our aircraft in a closer format, but also our tactics, techniques, and procedures relative to flying in this environment really lets them see what a U.S. aircraft, U.S. training, and our joint operability can be. Obviously, anytime you're in a joint environment, there's a degree of level setting to make sure everyone's operating initially on that same sheet of music. But I wouldn't call that challenges. I would actually just call that opportunities to really align for joint interests later on. And so we had some of those initial opportunities, if you will, and I think now that we get to the very end of the second week and we're flying a large force exercise on the last day, we get to really see the fruits of our labor, if you will, and that's been terrific. I think the biggest takeaway is that bilateral engagement really matters. So we've seen a great degree of kind of coalescing around joint tactics, and so the ability to see that improvement over a 2-week time period really provides us all the more momentum we need to kind of keep these engagements on the schedule and to continue showing that overall joint improvement. I think it's almost a necessity that we continue growing our partnership. This degree of engagement will only further our kind of combined strategic objectives. And we see the Philippine Air Force and the Philippine Defense Force in general as a major contributor to the overall regional stability in the Pacific. Do this more often, and do it for longer. Really try to align around everyone's strengths, try to provide platforms to the Philippine Air Force that align well with the aircraft they're flying, so that we can continue to share those tactics and techniques so that our kind of joint interoperability only improves.
Well, working with the United States Air Force is an opportunity for us. I'm speaking for the whole Philippine Air Force, specifically for the 5th Fighter Wing, because you guys can bring in a lot to us, specifically when it comes to teaching us, when it comes to tactics, when it comes to fighter operations, which we really need as a Philippine Air Force, because as we all know, we're just got back our supersonic age of having this kind of jets. So we're really up for the next missions that we're going to be flying, and the US Air Force gave us a lot of learnings for this exercise that we can really apply in the near future. During our exchange here in Base P with the US Air Force pilots, I learned a lot when it comes to fighter operations, specifically air-to-air and air-to-ground. So air-to-air, like intercepts, different kind of targets, different kind of threats airborne, and also on how to deal with threats or targets on the ground, specifically doing close air support missions. I mean, F-16 is a really good jet, very good, I'd say. I mean, good is, I think, an understatement. And I think it has proven a lot in different kind of mission. We call it it's a versatile aircraft. It can perform a lot of mission, and it's combat proven, very effective. And I think F-16 will really give us a good fight if we'll have kind of those aircraft in the future. Who knows? My biggest takeaway is, as a country, we really need to keep doing a lot of things to make sure that we hold up to securing our territory, our airspace, and of course, our sovereignty. And that for us, servicemen, specifically in the Air Force, have to take care of the airspace. And with that, we should not stop from learning. And if learning is coming from other countries, such as the United States, we should do that. I mean, there's so many ways for us to get better and for us to get back in the air and really defend our country and fly the skies and defend our sovereignty. I think challenges would be more on you personal. If you don't want to learn, that will be a personal challenge to you. But if you keep just an open mind and really, embrace the objective of this exercise, I don't see any challenges, because I think at the end of the day, all the objectives of this exercise have been met. So the way I see it, I think the future holds bright for the United States and the Philippines partnership when it comes to actually making their military or our respective military stronger and being able to fight together or work together towards a mission that we don't know in the future will probably bring us.